Shalom family, how's everyone doing today? Hope all is well. I have a quick little lesson and message for everyone today. So we're going to look at the two greatest commandments as seen in Matthew chapter 22, verses 35 to 40, which reads, "Then one of them, which was a lawyer, asked him a question, tempting him and saying, 'Master, which is the greatest commandment in the Torah?' Yahusha said unto him, 'You shall love Yahuwah with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like unto it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. On these two commandments hang all of the Torah and the prophets.'" So now that we have established that, and most of us know this already, but it doesn't hurt when we revisit and deepen the roots that we already have, especially knowing that the awakening is still happening, even if it doesn't seem like it. And there are people coming in that need to know why it is that the Torah isn't done away with, why it is that we keep the commandments, and why it is that if not, we won't be saved. Now, the two greatest commandments, as we said, is loving Yahuwah, and the second one is loving others or loving people. Now, I do want to go into Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 5, so that we can see how loving Yahuwah makes way for some other things. This is the second witness, which says, "And you shall love Yahuwah with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words which I command you this day shall be in your heart." So when you love Yahuwah, you're doing it from your heart. So it's very much pure, right? You're doing it on purpose. And you're loving him with all your heart, all your soul, all your might. Now, and also doing that means that you won't love other Elohim. Okay, these other idols. Doing so would mean that you do not love graven images. Now, I'm going to stop there just for a quick second. When I was getting these notes together, I was paying attention to these graven images that Yahuwah does not like. And believe it or not, and I know a lot of you may not agree with this, but when someone does something that's wrong, and then we go and do and attempt to make it correct, but if it's still breaking the commandment, it's still wrong, family. Now, I'm not like, it's not about feelings. It's about the truth. And it's about when we're told to share something, we have to, even if people don't want to listen. And I'm telling you guys, there's a lot of content creators. You have awesome images and stuff. And we know that the truth is that the so-called Black people, the so-called African-American, Negroid people, we are his true people. The first people. And now we have the Gentiles, everybody else grabbing it. But I'm talking about our image is melanated with whatever shade melanin that looks like. Because I'm a Black woman, but I'm just not darker skin. I'm still melanated. I don't burn in the sun. But when we are trying to portray Yahuwah, it's best to do it in spirit and in truth of what the word says. Yes, that means that when we see the hair like wool, white like snow, you know, we are quick to go and put that as a graven image or AI image, whatever you want to call it. But Yahuwah says that we shouldn't do that, because what happens is people have it in their heart and minds that old looking man of an image is him, because you have literally translated what's written into an actual image. And he doesn't like that, is what I'm saying. Now I'm going to have you guys, you're going to have to take that into prayer, because I know people twist things and they'll say, oh, that's not true at all what you're saying, but it is. We're not supposed to make graven images. It doesn't matter if it's not a wooden image, a stone, one made from metals and whatever. It's still a graven image. It is an image made by the hands of a man or a computer program. Either way, it's false. Meaning no man has seen Yahuwah except maybe Enoch. And even then he said that he could barely look at him. Too much glory, too bright of a countenance. Let us hold on to the fact that we are told that by loving Yahuwah, we are to make room to not love other Elohim and to not make any molten or graving images. Also, he says, don't take his name in vain. That means that we shouldn't misuse his name. We shouldn't allow his name to become worthless or empty. Now, I know some of you walk around calling him Akilah-YAH, which means I am. That is only a title. When using the scripture and not understanding what he was saying when he says, Akilah-YAH, I am, that I am, he wasn't saying that was his actual name. You see, he spoke in parables, and only those who have ears were able to discern exactly what he was trying to say. His name is Yahuwah, and he has such a wonderful and beautiful name. And if our spirit, man or woman, is not allowing us to fix our lips and tongue to say Yahuwah, then there is something concerning. And when we don't say Yahuwah, then we bring his name into vain. Even when we are referring to his attributes like Rapha or Sidkenu or Nisi, we say Yahuwah Rapha, Yahuwah Sidkenu. We don't say Akilah-YAH Rapha, Akilah-YAH Sidkenu. We don't do that. My name is Akilah. Akilah-YAH Akilah. That's my name. I am Akilah. He is what he is. He is everything. He is omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent. He was only trying to say that at that time in that scripture. He is not Lord. He is not Jesus. He is not God. He is Yahuwah. That is his name. Behold, it is I. That is who Yahuwah is. And we have to love Yahuwah in the ways he wants to be loved. The same way that when you're in a marriage and you eloped with that person that your heart led you to because they knew how to love you right. They knew how to respect you. You know, they knew how to do things that pleased you and not hurt you. Is the same way we should be loving Yahuwah. The way he wants us to. He wants us to call on his name, not his titles without the name. He wants us to call on his name. And believe me here, I'm not trying to convict anyone into condemnation. But what I'm saying is that Yahuwah also knows our heart. So if you choose to continue to call on those titles, I'm sure he will know who's truly worshiping him in spirit and truth and who is not. But this is just to admonish and to correct, which I think that we should be comfortable enough to do when we're in a family. If we are truly family, we should be able to do this. The same way you're able to dispute things in your own personal lives with your own families. Okay, family? And the last way to love Yahuwah is by keeping his Shabbat. Not only keeping it, but keeping it holy, which is to honor and to respect it without defiling that set apart, sanctified day that he gave to us. Because we know when we do that, he knows who is his, because his people keep his Shabbat. And again, keeping the Shabbat can look different for many people. So that too is something that we can't always, judge people for. We shouldn't be judging nobody. But this is the word here. So when you're looking at all these points I listed, this is literally the first 4 of the 10 commandments. And so the first 4 comes under the umbrella of loving Yahuwah. And the second greatest commandment is to love people. So now we're going to go into Leviticus chapter 19, verse 18, family. And that reads, "You shall not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of your people, but you shall love your neighbor as yourself." And then he follows by saying, "I am Yahuwah." So this way we know it's Yahuwah. It is Yahuwah that tells us to love other people. It is not ourselves. It is not other people. It is Yahuwah who says to love people. And so now going off of the last few commandments, how do we love people? We can love our parents, who is the closest to us, by honoring them, which is caring for them and doing for them that, for their needs. And then you can love people by not unaliving them. This is also spiritually speaking, right? We don't kill people. That's common sense. And then we can love people by not stealing. When we say stealing, again, that can also be spiritual, because there are people that steal your happiness. There are people that come in just to steal that joy away. Oh, you have good news, you go and tell someone, and then they go in and say something, just quenching his spirit. And so not stealing, not bearing false witness, that can look like many different ways. It can be literal, denying someone in front of others, saying that they did something when they didn't do it. It can be just lying in general. When you do that, you're not walking in the image of Yahuwah. You're walking in the image of a carnal, fleshed person. And then last but not least, you're not supposed to covet. Because when you covet, you don't love Yahuwah. Because if you covet, it's showing Yahuwah that you are not content with what you have, what he gives you this season, because we know it's always changing. Every season brings forth new fruits, new blessings, new gifts, new assignments. And sometimes it brings, it removes, because it depends what season you're in. But if you are coveting constantly, you're not loving Yahuwah. And so it's best to make sure we keep the order of loving Yahuwah and loving others as you love yourselves. And so I did want to just bring this out, because many people think the Torah is done away with, the commandments is, not important, but truly they are, because I don't really think that people would think it's okay to walk around unaliving people and stealing. I mean, all of these fit the agenda of Hasatan and his lawlessness, right? That's what that fits. And so be set apart in such a way in which we know who you serve. We know what side you on. That is what we should be striving for each and every day. Striving to love Yahuwah and love other people, just as we love our own selves. And if you're not capable of loving yourself, then think about the fact that you're listening to this message. You are alive. You have a purpose, because that's why you woke up. And think about who loved you first. Yahuwah loved you first. So you're capable of loving. And you have to just remind yourself. Remind yourself, how am I able to love? Examine yourselves and look at all the ways in which you can love. And if you don't know how to, say to Yahuwah, Yahuwah, teach me how to love. Teach me how to love myself. Teach me how to love you the way you want to be loved. Correct my wrongs. Align me with the way you want me to love. myself and other people. And last but not least, you say, Yahuwah, teach me how to love other people, even the people that are within other nations. Abba Yahuwah, it's hard to forget what they have done to my people. Please allow me to forget those things and to love anyway, because you will avenge your people, and leave it at that. And just know that a smile goes a long way. Even a holding of a door for an elderly person, it shows your character. It heals other people when they are loved on in that type of way, even if it's for a few seconds. People remember what you did for them. Sometimes you go back out and around this, another week later, and you might end up seeing that same person that's going to remember what you did, and they're going to start speaking to you. Then the next thing you know, you're able to plant seeds of the truth within them. And so get in the habit of looking friendly, having a pleasant countenance that is approachable, and also one that reflects Yahuwah in his image. And I'm not talking about these graven images. I'm talking about the truth. Yahuwah is love. And that's what we should be really reflecting. And I feel like everybody can reflect love if they truly wanted to. And then that is when you will be called sons and daughters of Elohim, Yahuwah. Is because when you're able to do these things, that is when he receives you. Shalom.